The 10 most incredible, mysterious, and even dangerous human settlements in the world. If you didn't see it with your own eyes, you wouldn't believe people actually live in places like these. From crazy little islands to burning cities, from cliffs all around to mountains of garbage. Let's take a look at these real human habitats and explore their unique lives and stories. Number 10. The Garbage Empire. In 1969, the mayor of Cairo ordered all the city's scavengers to be relocated to one neighborhood, which was named Manshiat Nasir. Everyone who comes here for the first time is overwhelmed by an indescribably awful stench. It's a terrible mix of rotting fruit, spoiled food, and decaying cat and dog carcasses, garbage bags, broken bottles, torn newspapers, discarded wood, cans, wrappers. All kinds of trash flow freely through Manshiat. Almost every resident here works as a sorter, but people prefer to call them zabalin, meaning garbage people. Particles of trash, ash, and dust make up about 25% of the air's density here. Dirt floats in the air, settling on faces and lungs, covering bread and cakes sold in local cafes. Locals joke that there are no flies here at all because the stench and filth kill them before they can survive. Despite the grim working conditions, the zabalin are incredibly efficient. They're said to recycle up to 85% of the garbage. If true, their efficiency is more than 4 times that of traditional waste management companies. However, in such unsanitary conditions, disease and harsh living environments are unquestionably common. The zabalin are also among the poorest people in Cairo. If you're born here, it's basically very difficult to move away. Seeing anything other than garbage outside your window might feel like an unreachable dream. Number 9. The Sea Nation. When people talk about the world's smallest country, many think of Vatican City. But compared to this country, Vatican looks like a giant. Because this country is 110 times bigger than Vatican, that's the Principality of Sealand. The world's most famous private nation, located in the English Channel, just 10 kilometers off the coast of Suffolk County, England. Its predecessor was one of the many sea forts built by Britain during World War II to prevent the German Navy from invading, called Fort Ruffs. In September 1967, retired British Royal Navy Major Paddy Roy Bates discovered this abandoned fort, took control of it, and declared sovereignty over it as an independent country. The entire Principality of Sealand covers only 550 square meters, with the adult population mainly consisting of Roy Bates's family and their relatives and friends, only 22 people in total. The permanent population is fewer than 5. They have their own currency, laws, flag, and coat of arms, and even sell passports to people worldwide. Most buyers are international criminals or people not recognized by other countries. At its peak, up to 150,000 Sealand passports were in circulation internationally. Such a somewhat absurd country is definitely not recognized internationally. But the Bates family swore to fiercely defend its sovereignty. In 1968, when a British patrol boat approached Sealand, Roy Bates and his son stopped it with guns and even fired at the vessel. Afterwards, Roy Bates was taken to court in Britain. But since the incident happened outside British territorial waters and international waters, the court had no jurisdiction. Soon after, Roy was dismissed from the Navy and was acquitted. Legally speaking, Sealand is established in international waters, with its own fixed territory and permanent residents. It is a legitimate country, but no other country has recognized its legitimacy yet. Number 8. The underground city of Coober Pedy. South Australia is the driest part of Australia, with the Great Victoria Desert to the west and the Simpson Desert to the east. However, in this desolate land, there is a thriving little town called Coober Pedy. When you arrive here, you'll find only a few buildings scattered in the barren desert. Because Coober Pedy's weather is dry and daytime temperatures are extremely high, surface temps reaching 104, 122 degrees, 40, 50 degrees, and winters can get very cold. People here chose to dig underground homes to cope with the harsh environment. Unexpectedly, as they kept digging, they created an entire underground town inhabited by as many as 3,500 residents. You might wonder, if it takes so much effort to dig underground, why not just move away? It turns out this barren land hides valuable treasures beneath the surface. Coober Pedy, though covered in dust and with harsh living conditions, sits atop some of the world's most precious opal deposits. 96% of the world's opals come from Australia, and Coober Pedy is one of the main sources. Opals are brightly colored, translucent with a ceramic-like sheen, and rank among the world's 6 major gemstones. Most of the residents came here because of the gemstones. In Coober Pedy, you'll find all activities take place underground. Not only residents' homes, but hotels for tourists, bars for relaxation, and even churches for worship are all underground. Despite the harsh conditions, residents make the best of it, replacing grass with stones to build the world's only golf course made entirely of stone. Number 7. The Lonely Rock. Elodie Island is located off the south coast of Iceland, surrounded by sea, covering an area of 450,000 square meters. The areas near the shore are 180-degree cliffs. The only way to get to the island is by helicopter or a boat expedition. There is only one house on the entire island. The owner of this house has exclusive possession of the whole island. He has lived on the island for 20 years. Although many envy this lifestyle, the reality on Elodie Island is not as idyllic as imagined. There isn't a single tree on the island. The green you see is all moss. Poor transportation has led to severe shortages of supplies. Originally, more than just this one house was inhabited on Elodie Island. In the past, there were many seabirds on the island, prized for their delicious meat, attracting many people to live there and hunt seabirds for a living. But gradually, the seabirds stopped coming to the island. People had to rely on fishing in the sea. But the island's unique terrain made fishing very difficult, so the residents slowly moved away, leaving only this one house behind. However, this single house stands out on Elodie Island, making it a famous tourist attraction. Every year, many tourists come to experience the loneliness of owning an entire island all to oneself. Number 6. Coffin homes in Hong Kong. In this bustling city, a group of people live in extreme poverty and despair. Locals often refer to these coffin homes as coffin rooms. It's understandable, each room is only about 3 square meters, with no windows or ventilation. Even prison cells in Hong Kong are more spacious. In Stanley Prison, cells are at least 7.4 square meters, twice the size of these coffin rooms. Most coffin homes are in old buildings or aging high-rises with outdated utilities. Open flames for cooking are usually prohibited, and living density is even worse. Houses are already packed side by side. When divided into coffin homes, it gets even more cramped. Buildings are close to each other. Corridors inside are labyrinthine, and you can easily get lost inside. This isn't just rumors, it happens every day here. Even so, rent for these tiny rooms is about 2,000 Hong Kong dollars per month, roughly 8,100 Chinese yuan. Hong Kong's minimum wage is about 8,200 HKD per month, meaning people spend nearly a quarter of their income to rent these cramped spaces. Statistics show over 200,000 people in Hong Kong currently live in coffin homes, mostly from low-income backgrounds, enduring very harsh living conditions. Fortunately, the Hong Kong government has announced that public housing will be a planning priority, aiming to end the coffin home era by 2049. Number 5. The One-Stop City. At the northwestern tip of North America and Alaska, there's a forgotten place known as Whittier, the loneliest small town in the world. The entire town has a population of about 300 people, because there is a glacier nearby called the Second Glacier. The town got its name from it. It's this glacier that keeps the town's temperature around -20 degrees Celsius all year round. However, the town's unique geographical location is also very attractive. Surrounded by mountains on 3 sides and water on 1 side, almost everything around is just pure white snow. The only way into the town is through a tunnel that seems endless. So narrow it only fits 1 car at a time. More importantly, this tunnel closes precisely at 10:30 every night. At that time, Whittier town completely seals off. Almost all the residents of this town live in a single 14-story building. I say live instead of reside because for the people there, this building is like another complete world on Earth. This building contains all the daily facilities and places people need: shops, post office, gym, various entertainment venues, even the mayor's office, school, police station, and hospital are all included in this amazing structure. In other words, if they want, the townspeople can completely cut themselves off from the outside world and live their whole lives inside their fortress without any contact with others. In recent years, as Whittier's reputation has grown, it has attracted many tourists. It's said they receive over 700,000 visitors each summer. Would you want to experience a life with zero contact and zero communication with the outside world? The 4th most crowded island is a small island called Santa Cruz in Colombian waters. It's also known as the most crowded island in the world. Its area is only 0.01 square kilometers, about the size of 2 soccer fields, but over 1,200 people live there. The population density is 100,000 people per square kilometer, while Manhattan, the busiest borough of New York, has about 27,000 people per square kilometer. This small island's population density is nearly 4 times that of Manhattan and 9 times that of Beijing. If you look down at Santa Cruz Island from above, just the way the houses are packed together gives you a suffocating feeling. Almost every inch of space on the island is used up with nothing left empty. The reason Santa Cruz Island became so popular at first was because there were no mosquitoes. You might think it's no big deal, but for a hot and humid environment, this is a huge advantage. For mosquito-ridden South America, having no mosquitoes is an incredible benefit. So over the past 150 years, more and more people have settled on the island. What's unbelievable is that on Santa Cruz Island, there's the only school in this entire sea area. Kids from nearby islands take boats here every day to attend school. Besides that, there's no commercial street or resort development anywhere. So even though many tourists are drawn here, unless they stay with local families, there are basically no hotels for visitors. The island has no electricity grid, The only power source is a generator that runs just 5 hours a day to meet residents' basic electricity needs. Besides that, there are no doctors on the island, so if people get sick, they have to take a 2-hour boat trip to the nearest port city. If someone dies on the island, there isn't even extra land available for burial. The third unique city is Miyake Island, part of Japan's Izu Islands, located about 180 kilometers south of Tokyo. It used to be a prison exile location, but the climate is quite mild, with an average temperature around 17 degrees 63 degrees. However, volcanic eruptions and earthquakes are everyday occurrences for this island. In 2000, a volcanic eruption lasted more than 4 years, forcing all residents to evacuate. In April 2013 alone, Miyake Island experienced 21 earthquakes in one day, with the strongest reaching magnitude 6.5. Normally, no one should live on such an island, but more than 2,000 Japanese people call it home. Because of frequent volcanic activity, 1/3 of the island is off-limits. The surrounding air is filled with toxic gases like sulfur dioxide, and inhaling them carelessly can be life-threatening. Residents live as if preparing for the apocalypse, always wearing gas masks outside to protect themselves from sudden spikes in sulfur gas. Yet, the island still attracts some curious visitors. You have to admit, those people are really brave because, given Miyake Island's conditions, not to mention earthquakes or eruptions, just living while wearing a gas mask is hard to accept. The second place, the Sky City, Mount Fanjing, is famous for its Buddhist tranquility. It's well known not only for its beautiful scenery, but also as one of China's famous Buddhist mountains, with great historical significance. But more people come here because of the 2 temples at the summit. The Buddha temple enshrines Shakyamuni, representing the present. The Maitreya temple enshrines Maitreya Buddha, representing the future. These 2 temples sit on the new Golden Summit at 336 meters 664 feet, with a vertical drop of over 100 meters 328 feet. From afar, the new Golden Summit looks like a bamboo shoot breaking through the earth, standing tall among the peaks. To reach the Red Cloud Golden Summit, visitors must climb nearly 9,000 steps to arrive at the legendary Buddha temple. That's equivalent to climbing 381 floors in a standard building. Climbing such a steep mountain is exhausting on its own. Even today, building on a mountaintop like this remains very challenging. But the ancients not only managed it, they built both temples in one go. Between the 2 temples is a stone bridge that has lasted for 1,000 years, truly incredible. How exactly did the ancients transport all the building materials up the mountain? And how did they construct that stone bridge between the 2 temples? Even now, the construction methods of these 2 temples remain a mystery. Number 1, the burning town, Centralia, was once a thriving town in Pennsylvania, USA, but a coal mine fire that has been burning for nearly 60 years turned it into a ghost town. The fire still hasn't been put out, and the town has even vanished from maps. Centralia used to be famous for coal mining. By the 1960s, abandoned mines turned the area into a landfill. Burning was a common way to dispose of waste. People remember the year Centralia cried, a pile of burning trash, which should have gone out quickly, kept burning. Unfortunately, it was still burning the next day. Later, locals found out that fire clay wasn't placed properly in the landfill, and the flames ignited layers underground. Even if the surface fire was put out, the unseen underground fires kept spreading. Within weeks, the fire spread rapidly to nearby abandoned coal mines. Completely extinguishing the underground fire seemed hopeless. Cracks appeared on the town's surface, and carbon monoxide levels in the air kept rising. Experts said only large-scale trench digging could effectively put out the fire. Even with a budget of $660 million, success was not guaranteed. Based on how the fire is burning, it's estimated Centralia's underground fire will last another 250 years. People from nearby towns have been relocating in recent years. Today, this once glorious burning town has long become an abandoned city with no residents. The government has also passed laws prohibiting anyone from living there, because even a small mistake can cost you your life. Alright, that's all for today's content. Which of these 10 scariest human settlements left the biggest impression on you? Or maybe there's a terrifying place without stairs we didn't cover in the video. Feel free to tell us in the comments. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and share to support me to create more interesting content. Thank you for your support.